In this video, we're going to look at how to create the main portion of the pulley. And in order to do that, we're going to start off with an untitled design file. We're going to go ahead and we're going to insert a base plate into our untitled design file. And on this one, we're going to go ahead and rotate down by 90 degrees. And then we're going to rotate around in this direction by 90 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and pin the base plate by right-clicking on it in the browser name and then clicking pin. And what this is going to serve as is this portion is going to be kind of like an anchor on the table while you set up a chassis rail. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a chassis rail, and you're going to screw it into the end of the base plate. And the way this works is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and we can see that. So I'm going ahead and I rotated this 90 degrees. And then I also rotated it this way 90 degrees. So that way the little bended edge is going to kind of face toward us, kind of like how you see on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and joint that particular part. So I'm going to hold the shift key and rotate around. We want to put our cursor right on the face. I'm going to hold Control if you're on a Mac, you're going to hold Command, and you want to select right here in the middle of this rectangular opening on that part. I'm going to rotate back around, and I just want to pick a spot like right here in the middle, and if I hold right about there, I can go ahead and click right in the center, and that'll line up for a hole there. And I'll go ahead and say OK. I'm going to go ahead and insert a 1/2 inch star screw into the assembly. Rotate around now, I can see the underneath side of that. Joint, I'm going to choose the circle right underneath the screw head, and I'm going to zoom in kind of similar. I'm going to put it right on this, my cursor right on the face, hold Command or hold Control, and select the center right here in the hole. If it comes in like this, you just need to flip it. So if you need to, you may have to put more than one screw in, but for this representation, we just want to show you that that's where you got to put a screw. Okay, I'm going to rotate underneath and around. And I'm going to go ahead and insert a Keps nut. We'll rotate it around that way we can see it. 180 degrees. Joint. Select this portion. Flip it and offset it in about 0.35. Just to show the representation. Okay, so on this is what we're going to do is we're going to set up a little scenario where we can go ahead and add in a couple of bearing flats. So I'm going to right click and insert into current design. I'm going to drag this over, rotate this down like this, and I'm actually going to rotate that way I can see the inside face of this as well by 180 degrees. I'm going to joint. I'm going to select the center hole on the outside edge. And then on this particular portion, I'm going to pick one of the holes, and it doesn't matter which one really, where you're at, but I'm going to go ahead and pick this option. I'm going to flip it, and then we're going to offset it by 0.1 to get it to line up into the hole. So you can see there it's lined up through the holes. I'll say OK. I'll rotate around here, and I'm going to go ahead and do a duplicate with joints. Select that bearing flat. Same kind of thing. I'm going to pick this side about the same spot where I picked before. Here you see it's not really off there. So I'm going to go ahead and say clear, last duplicate. Probably want to pick this side. And it doesn't really look like it's working very well with our offset. So here's what we might want to do. Is if duplicate with joints is not playing well with you, kind of like how it was with me, let's just go ahead and we'll just join another one in. Sometimes it's just easier just to join another one in rather than trying to force that to work for us. So I'll flip it, do like I did, offset it by 0.1, and that way they line up. Okay, so you're going to have two of those put in like that. You're then going to find a 3/4 inch or 0.75 inch screw to be able to put in here. Let's go ahead and drag this over. I'll rotate around. And what we're going to do is we're going to thread a one screw in here to go right through the center, and I'm going to flip it, of these two bearing flats, and then we're going to go ahead and add in a Keps nut to hold that together. And if I rotate around here, joint, and choose that point there. So that's going to be those. Then we're going to go ahead and add in a 4-inch shaft. We're actually going to add 2 of those in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and bring one in like so. We're going to joint, choose the end of the shaft, choose the hole. Let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of an offset here just to kind of balance it out. Probably want to do about a negative 1.5 offset. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate with joints our shaft with the next hole. And that one works pretty well for us. So what we're going to end up doing here is to hold this on. I'm going to grab a shaft collar and insert it into the design. So it looks like it brought one in here. There we go. I can joint, select the end of the shaft collar. I'm going to rotate around. It's going to go right up against this portion like so. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate with joints in the same spot. And there we go. And what we're going to do now is take a look at putting in a spacer to kind of help us out. So I'm going to insert a spacer into our design. If the joints are kind of getting in the way, just hide that joints folder. I kind of like to turn that off occasionally. Choose the end of the spacer, choose the circle. If we need to flip, we're in good shape. We're going to go ahead and add in another, we're going to duplicate with joints, another spacer on this side. On this end though, we're going to go ahead and duplicate with joints. I'll select this one, we'll select this end. The only thing is it doesn't really, let's go ahead and hit cancel, is we're going to have to add in a couple more spacers. So I'll probably have to do this manually by just inserting. Here's one. Joint. Whoops. Selecting the edge of the spacer. There. So we're going to stack 3 of these on top of each other to kind of build out a little place for our pulley to kind of sit. So again, just joining these as normal. Repeating the same steps. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my pulleys. Insert into current design. Here's this pulley. We're going to go ahead and joint this circular face right up against the spacer. If we need to flip it, we can do so. We've got a little bit of room, we can throw a shaft collar in. So let's go ahead and insert that shaft collar. And again, you can always offset that shaft a little bit more, but we'll put it right against there. Let me flip it. Just enough to put a shaft collar on. If we needed to offset a little bit more, we could. And then of course, we need to go ahead and add in, let's see if we can do a duplicate with joints. Grab our pulley. Let's grab right here. So, looks like we can flip it. There we go. So again, you got to click on the 3 little dots here in your menu and the flip icon there. And then let's duplicate with joints. Grab a shaft collar. Grab right up against the edge there. Again, if I hit the 3 little dots in the menu, flip it, we're in good shape. So this is going to be your pulley setup. So as you kind of go to try out different pulleys, especially as you go to do a block and tackle. So in combination with the pulley basket, you also have this main pulley structure to help you with creating the different types of pulleys that you see in a lot of simple machines.